Hello. Um, I apologize for being a sweaty, greasy mess today. Like, it's cold here in Florida, finally, and I don't know what to do with myself. Like, it's it's out of my comfort zone to be cold. And I keep waking up like super early, and I think it's because I'm so cold. I don't even usually like wear like a sheet and a blanket. I just wear a comforter. And even still, I'm cold and I hate it. And so I'm like trying to run around like to get heat. And so I'm sweaty and red, and it's not a good look for me. But I put on like tinted lip balm because the cold is giving me like corpse lips, and it just makes me look weird. Like, I'm so unused to wearing color on my lips that I feel like I look unnatural. So I'm gonna try to work through that awkwardness, but like I can't stop looking at them. They're so shiny. I don't like it. um, my room, you can't see it. It's behind you. It's an actual disaster because I decided to move my bookshelf out here for that aesthetic, and there's just like junk everywhere. And but I found a hula hoop. No, my mom found a hula hoop, but I have a hula hoop now. I did find a jump rope too. Excellent finds. I'm so glad that I did this, even if it's just for the hula hoop and the jump rope. So today I have a book haul. I don't know how many books are here, but it's enough that I couldn't hold them all up to get a thumbnail because I felt like I was risking my back or like my arms. They might fall off. So we're just gonna go through these and see if I have enough time on my camera to film all of them. I'm gonna start with the ones that aren't from the library. The first one is this. It's the National Geography of Religion, and it's really large and like beautiful. It has one of these thingies on it, and I'm always interested in other religions. I got this for free because I worked at the thrift store or volunteered, and they just were like, we can't sell this. And I'm like, I'll take it. So I haven't started it obviously, but I feel like it's kind of like a coffee table book, but I'm just going to read it like a normal book. Next are some more thrift shop books. The first one is this, called The Tender Bar, a memoir by J.R. Moehringer. Moehringer, I don't know. It's about this kid whose father left before he was born, and he can hear his father though on the radio as a disc jockey. But once he stops hearing his father's voice, he goes down to the bar down the street, and he just throughout his life feels drawn to this bar because of all the beautiful people he meets there. So it's not normally what I would reach for, but I got it handed to me like, you could take this home and then bring it back. So I was like, sounds good to me. Then I have an Oprah book club book. It's Drowning Ruth by Christina Schwartz. It's about this woman during the Great War who was a nurse, I suppose, or a medic, and helped soldiers, and got overwhelmed and decided to go live with her sister, and her sister's husband is away at war. Her sister has a little girl, but things are not as they seem, or things go wrong because her sister drowns under the ice of a lake. And so her sister's husband comes back and is like, this is really weird because his sister-in-law is like taken like charge of the ranch and her niece, and it's like, I don't know, it sounds kind of like murder mystery-ish, and like I don't know. It just sounds good to me. So, gonna read that. And then, this one, I don't have much to say about it. It's by Joe Nesbo, I think. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I've seen a bunch of his books around. All I know is that this is set in Norway, and there's a bunch of ladies getting murdered. Detective story. That's all. I don't know anything else about it. So, yeah. Okay, so now moving on to library books. Somebody should take away my library card because I have way too many books here. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to... I don't usually read all the books I check out from the library. I'm just like, I want these near me. So, let's see. What should I start off with? Okay. So, this is something I've heard a lot about. It's The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. And as from what I've heard, it's about a woman who has autism and who's never really dated or had romance. So she hires a male escort or something, and apparently it's really smutty, so I don't know how that's gonna go for me, but gonna read it anyway because it sounds cute. Now, The Disturbed Girls Dictionary by Nonika Ramos. Sorry, because I definitely did not pronounce that right. It's something I've seen on other booktuber shelves, like My Reading is Odd, and I think Crescent Moon Reads. And it sounds really good. It's about this girl who keeps a dictionary of things that make sense to her because her world is like a mess, and she is like, suddenly the dictionary starts not making sense to her, like telling her secrets, and that sounds cool, like really cool. So gonna try it out. Hopefully it's good. This next one is The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Laura James. It is about a girl whose parents, I believe, have died. Sorry if the light is changing because the natural light is just like glinting off of the shiny library covers. But it's about a girl whose parents have died. She lives in space on a spaceship. She's all alone, but she gets the message that her spaceship and another spaceship are going to meet up. And it sounds kind of romancy, kind of like sci-fi, like maybe there's some mental health elements to it. Sounds good to me. Sounds like it's up my alley, so we'll see how that goes. The next one is something my library was displaying. It was like in 2019, pick up the first book of a series so that your year is great, and I was like, sounds sick to me, I can pick up all of them. But since I can't do that, I picked up The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. And oh my gosh, I've heard of his books before. I heard of this specifically on the Peruse Project, I think is the name of her channel. She's mentioned this, and it's a guy who's like the most powerful magician in his world, and there's a war, it's high fantasy, it's like, yeah, sounds good, and I love it. Next one is Obsidio, the third book in the Illuminae Files series by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I don't have anything to say, just that I'm like massively excited because I love the Illuminae series like with my whole heart. I love mixed media books, and I just hope this ends well. I didn't really see any reviews on it yet, so I'm going in mostly blind, and I'm just excited. I'm excited. This is a book, this next book is one that's been like universally hated on BookTube, and I kind of picked it up for that reason. It sounds kind of typical YA. It's The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I know Holly Black is like a much loved author, and I've never actually read any of her books, but this is about fairies, because I know that's like The Cruel Prince, or Holly Black's wheelhouse. And it's like a girl whose parents die and her sisters get, taken away to live in the court of fairy. And she's like, no, I want to live with the court of fairy too. So she goes there even though the king or the prince hates mortals. I'm guessing that the reason this is hated is because the main man dude guy is an asshole. That seeing as it's called The Cruel Prince. But that's not always a bad thing. I kind of like assholes if they're assholes at first, and if they're not like abusive-y. But I don't know, maybe I'll like it in like a trashy way. We'll see. Next is a nonfiction. It is called Like War, The Weaponization of Social Media by P.W. Singer and Emerson T. Brooking. Basically, it's about how we've started using social media as a way to hurt each other instead of connecting to each other. And that really interested me. I think that it's a very important topic for this time. So next is Baby Teeth by Zoe Stage or Zoe Stogg. It's one of those. This is what I'm really excited about. It sounds really good. The blurb is, we need to talk about Kevin meets Gone Girl meets The Omen. That is the greatest description I've ever heard of a book ever. So this made me want to pick it up immediately. Also, this cool cover of like a shattered lollipop. It's about a woman who is like devoted to being a stay-at-home mom, but she thinks her daughter hates her and is trying to kill her. And I'm like, oh, I love evil children books. So I can't wait to get to this. Next is another nonfiction, and it is called How to Behave Badly in Elizabethan England by Ruth Goodman. So apparently this author has how to live in etc. kind of times in England. But this is how to behave badly, and that sounds awesome. That's pretty much all I know, is that it's just like a list of like ill-mannered things you can do or something. I'm not super like up and up on what it's about, but I'm just like, if it's about like misbehaving in England times, like old England, sounds good to me. I want to read that. Next is something that I feel like is going to hit me really hard. It's In Extremis, The Life and Death of the War Correspondent Marie Colvin by Lindsay Hilsum. I saw the movie A Private War, which is about her and her life and her dealing with PTSD, wanting to help people in other countries report on what's happening, but also having to deal with her disorder. And that got me. So I was like, when I saw this, I'm like, I want to learn more about her, so this is an obvious one for me. I hope that it's what I'm expecting, or even if it's better than I'm expecting. I just know that she's a badass, and she deserves to be, more well-known. Don't fall over. No. Don't fall over. Sorry. Okay. So, these last two I've already started reading. This is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I know I talked about it a while ago, like maybe in my last haul, that I wanted to do a series about poor mental health representation in books, especially YA, and I think this is a perfect one to choose since There's the series out, and that was really criticized for its mental health representation. So this is kind of going to be, it's not a hate read, it's going to be a really, really critical read. And I'm going to take notes about, you know, like, and annotate, which I don't usually do when I read. Usually I just blow through it, and afterwards I'm like, okay, here's what I liked and here's what I didn't like. So I don't have like really put together reviews. But this one I'm going to try for, because it's really important to me that mental health is portrayed realistically and not harmfully in books, especially ones that are, you know, pointed towards younger adults, you know, teenagers, because I know that I was really misinformed as a teenager about mental health, and it really affected my own mental health, recognizing that I had issues that needed to be addressed. So this, I'm not going to destroy it, but I'm going to critically read it. And then the last book that I have here today is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. It is, I've read a pretty good chunk, like maybe 25%. Maybe, no, maybe not even. It's a really thick book, thick boy. And there is a rape scene in this, and it still hasn't happened yet, and I'm just like gritting my teeth, because I am just like, don't sneak up on me, I don't want a sneaky rape scene. Just give it to me straight, so that I can either read through it or skip it or whatever. I'm at the point where it's just picked up, but of course, just as it started picking up, I decided to participate in the Grish-along-a-thon, and so I've just been like binging Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So I haven't read this in a while, but I'd rather honestly read Six of Crows because it's so good. That's all I have today. Sorry if this is just like a dragging video. Oh my gosh, why do I have so many books kind of video? But I felt like I needed to recognize that I have a problem, and that someone needs to stop me from checking out all these books. Let the ladies at the library tell me that I have a limit, but the thing is they don't let you, or they don't give you a limit. So one day I'm just gonna be surrounded by walls and walls of library books, and I'm gonna probably die when they all fall on me. Anyway, if you've read any of these books and you liked them or hated them, either is good to me. I would love to know. If there are any books that you think that I should pick up, I would also love to know. And that is it for now.